because I might have to work on Friday. But I finally got called for a 1 day, possibly a 2 day, and it's not just early in the morning start, but it's also a near 2 hour commute. So, I was planning on going live around 8, and then I still had 50 things to do, and I just had to be out here at the time that I got out here to go and run the errands, buy what I had to buy. And so I am sorry that I cannot deliver another segment of the Babylonian Talmud just yet. We can all be patient. Since the Gaza incident has ended, we're now in the Minnesota incident. Minnesota is turning into Gaza. Isn't that funny? I don't know who fucking dropped the ball in the constitutional republic discussion about all of this, because ICE's on-the-ground presence in this manner is not necessary, because the sanctuary city could still cooperate with the police in a limited capacity. They can cooperate with any of their criminals. Right? Now, you may have a guy who maybe he raped somebody in one state and then he fled to another. They fled to Minnesota to exploit sanctuary. Now, the thing is that I have a hard time believing, because I haven't truly seen this argument being made. I'm getting a whole lot of past tense arguments. Oh, these are the people that they found. Yeah, they found them like last year. These are general sweeps. And that's only supposed to happen in the Border Patrol region. And only North Minnesota is the Border Patrol region, because they're looking for people coming through from Canada. Now, is Canada getting the Somalis and sneaking them in here? Now, that would be interesting to learn. Is Minnesota hiding a secret from Canada? But it doesn't matter. Like, Bovino's getting downgraded. Like, as far as I seemed like I could tell, like, with the exception of the Border Patrol style tactics, as far as the administrative process is concerned, this Homan guy is, he's harsh. He's pretty fucking harsh, but but that's just in terms of who is to be targeted. And then the manner of which is still going to be, if you're resisting arrest and shit, or if you're interfering in arrest, like, nobody was under arrest. They were doing a sweep. So yeah, you're interfering with, the daily lives of people that don't want to have anything to do with this. And don't want to see you fucking shovel away a fucking human being into a detention center. To be, there's then, contact just goes over, and you just don't know what the fuck's going on, and then you once in a while get a fucking legitimate picture of somebody from an awkward angle that looks like the kid's not in the happiest fucking place in the world. I don't fucking know what to tell you. I'd rather not see them there. How has Trump deported less people and yet has needed detention centers? If he's secured the border and he's also apprehended less people, why the fuck does he need ICE detention centers? There's a predication of an assumption of a statistic of how many are here and how many are a problem. And because we also don't know how many, we wouldn't know how to adjust our budget for them. And then there is the fraud that is not really that immigrant's fault. For the various reasons they want to be here under the general assumptions, let alone the evil intent of open society people that are very much all over the Democrat Party and what they do when they are in fucking power. But because the Republicans enjoy, they get off on cleaning up after Democrats, they like to lose once in a while. You're watching a fucking blood sport, and they're keeping the leagues alive. That's all the fuck that they're doing. Trying to keep the league alive. It's just like, Don, you gotta stop. You're gonna implode the fucking illusion. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna switch on the tyrant, now, and I'm gonna turn all my maggots into blood libel sycophants. Thank you. It'll be a pleasure to pretend to get lynched by a mob when they send me to Valhalla. Right now they're buying the Ayatollah a ticket to Valhalla. Because people are starting to get this, there's a myth building that Valhalla is like a secret government, like, congratulations, you're legally dead, you're now amongst the Hyperborean super dudes. That's what's going on. You've made Hyperborean history, my man. They're screaming your name from New Atlantis. They love you. You get to pretend you're dead. Woohoo! You're a beyonder, dude. You did it. You figured out it was the Jews and you had enough fucking fame to make it. Or something. I don't know how they think it works. But somebody thinks it works like that, is my point. Somebody thinks it works like that. And there may even be a thread of truth within that convoluted imagination, right? Because there's always that something there to it, right? Flat Earth was extraordinarily compelling because of the outdated scientific process by which we were understanding how not only the way our world works, but even more importantly, what's actually happening when we're measuring things in the world, and how that's being affected by our ability to perceive more particularly. Like we got these super zoom cameras that are 20 times better than most fucking, telescopes or whatever you can get on the market. And it does this magic shit where you zoom in and it zooms in so fucking forever, and you got a sense of how many fucking miles out it is, and it seems like nothing is curving over the horizon, and you're told a whole story about illusionary optics, and if flat earthers weren't such assholes, I would feel a little bad for them from the times they get mocked. They had a horrible way of appreciating the what's missing. People just don't know how to drive on this bridge, but I can't blame them. This bridge is a fucking stupid bridge. They made the narrowest bridge in the world, and you know, wide vehicles have to go super slow on it, and they will allow box trucks, like small box trucks, but they will still, you know, like it's just tight. They expanded the bridge, and the only thing they expanded was the passenger walk, so that you still had to like squeeze with like, you know, 10 inches of fucking space between you and the other person's freaking side view mirror. That's how ridiculous this thing was. It's over train tracks, and there's like houses very close by to it, and it's just like you can't even fucking widen that fucking street. That's an I-95 exit. Or it's really close to it. It's one of the immediate roads off of that road for non-commercial, except for box trucks. So yeah, half the reason why we can't get a lot of really cool infrastructure is because, you know, we have certain eminent domain laws, and you know, Donald Trump will flex all of his eminent domain, as you can see, is a largely diminutive person. Even though he had given state, you know, federal land back to states a while ago, when he was 45. Oh shoot, I forgot I gotta get gas. I gotta turn around and go to the cheap guys for gas. And I don't want to be live while I'm gassing up with the guy. So, I'm gonna make a screwy Yui. Go back down to the cheap guy. And start to wrap up this little hello that I have thrown at you. So yeah, just the ones that need to prevail are the ones that can look at these memes that they're making about, like, Kyle Rittenhouse and this pretty guy or whatever, and you know, and say, you know, they both were within their rights. That's the prevailing argument, is that they both were within their rights. Because, you know, he's a registered nurse. He may be pseudo unaffiliated with the quote left, but he's liberal, and he also cares about these people getting hurt out there, and he's also Second Amendment wise and just wants to have a gun. Maybe that gun is there to protect him from his own people, because he knows his own people are crazy, but he still fucking loves them, because, you know, that's how it fucking works. No, nobody wanted to think of that. People just wanted to look at him and say, oh, look at that ugly Jew that they had the facelift on CNN. That's the conversation. Oh, look at Miss Good. She's so pretty. You know, she's this pretty mom, suffering, whatever, you know. It's like, oh no, look, see, she shaved her head, and she looks like she's really stressed out. You know, so stressed out people were obviously crazy, and she was obviously crazy, and she was going to kill that guy, even though she was steering away from him, and he was trying to apprehend her without putting her under arrest. Anyway, like, you know, people don't understand anything, and they just love the blood sport. I fucking resent them all. All right, I'll see you guys later.
The button doesn't want to work.